Welcome back to Strategies for Empowered Living. My name is Olivia Bassi, and thanks for tuning in today. Now, today we're diving into a topic that's crucial for navigating life's uncertainties, and that is financial resilience. Life can throw unexpected curveballs our way, whether it's a sudden job loss, a medical emergency, or unforeseen expense. But being financial resilient means being prepared to weather these storms without derailing our long-term financial goals. In this episode, I want to break down what financial resilience means, why it's essential, and most importantly, how you can build it, whether you're just starting your financial journey or looking to strengthen your existing financial foundation. I've got you covered today. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's explore the key strategies and tips for building financial resilience together. Now, without further ado, I'll start by defining what financial resilience means. For me, financial resilience refers to the ability to withstand and recover from financial setbacks, challenges, or unexpected expenses without experiencing significant long-term negative consequences to our financial well-being. Now, this involves being very prepared or being prepared for and effectively managing financial shocks. For example, it could be a job loss, it could be a medical emergency, or it could be the economic downturns or unexpected expenses without jeopardizing our overall financial stability or future goals. There are certain strategies that I feel are quite important to incorporate within your daily habits and within your daily routines to help you build financial resilience. Now, without further ado, I would start by encouraging you to create a budget. Start by understanding your income and expenses. Set up a budget that tracks your money inflow and outflow. Regularly review and adjust it to adapt to changing circumstances. Even small savings can make a difference. If you're after a budget, I've attached a link at the end of this episode, or just look into the comment section. You will see a sample budget that I use. Now, I like to use, when you're creating a budget, it's very important to be organized. I do it once a month. Once the pay comes in, I sit down with my husband, and we look at the budget. We look at what the month looks like for us. And this means looking at every single thing. I like to use the analogy of building a house. It's fun to dream about your floor plan and decorations, but building the house doesn't truly begin until you break ground and lay the foundation. Now, creating a more formal budget is the foundation of our financial lives, helping us to see exactly where money is flowing so we can better allocate it to our many needs, wants, and goals. Remember, this podcast is about your goals. This podcast is about looking after your needs, and this is about your wants. So that's why it's important to really quantify this and qualify this and see what it means to you. So what you need to do is calculate every money coming in, including your earnings from your job or any other sources, such as it could be you've got a mortgage that somebody is renting, or other side hustles. Whatever it is, you've got to calculate all the money coming in. The next bit is to track your expenses. Everything from your rent to your gas to your coffee to your birthday, anything that you do in that month, make sure it's on the calendar so that when you're planning, when you're looking at your budget, you can allocate. So as an example, I might have a friend who's got a birthday on the 20th of April, as today is the 1st of April. So I will make sure I understand how much money I want to buy. So that includes the birthday card, and the price of the birthday card, how much it's going to cost, and any present. So it could be I've allocated £20 to this friend, and that's what my budget is for that month, and that's what I will spend. Once you list all those expenses, separate them in two columns. Very important: your wants and your needs. Now, this part is going to be different for everybody, and this depends really on you being honest with yourself and really focusing on what you want from creating your financial stability and what you're after and what your future looks like. So for example, we all need to wear clothes, but do you really need to wear new clothes every month? Maybe you do if you have a child, or if you have a growing child, or a new coat, So you need to really assess and keep an open mind and see how flexible or how adaptable you can be. But maybe not, and maybe you can put in new clothes in the want column instead of the need column. Another helpful tip is what's called, and this is quite important, the 50-30-20 rule. Think about it this way: 50% of your budget going to cover your needs, such as your bills, your food, your housing, insurance, and utilities. And then the next 30% going into your wants. So this is your Netflix, your services, your phone, your vacations, or any other new gadgets. And then the 20%, and this is where you have to, this is everybody's situation is different. It could be 20%, but I encourage 20%, or it could be 10% or 5%. It depends where you are financially at this stage. But obviously the aim is to increase it. So 20% to your savings, like your retirement account and your emergency fund. It's important to make sure that you have things like an emergency fund, because as we know, as we've talked about, life does happen. Aim to save a portion of your income consistently. Even if it's £5, £5 will make a difference. Trust me. Start small. Remember, it's about starting small and building big. So use that. Having this safety net provides you peace of mind during unexpected situations. If your car breaks down, as an example, that emergency fund is there. You can rely on that and go in and withdraw that and use it. Make sure, another tip, prioritize your debt. Debt management is important. Addressing it. Ideally, your monthly debt payments should be less than 15%, 15% of your take-home pay. Reducing or eliminating debt contributes to financial resilience. This, you should be doing this regularly, looking at to consolidate those debts and really looking at paying it off, so that you can be able to start looking at your savings and how much can start going into your savings. Be smart with debt management goals. For example, if you want to pay off your debt, start with the actual amount of how much you want to pay down. That makes it specific, measurable. Then get action oriented by defining the steps you're going to take. If it's paying down debt, maybe you can cut back on eating or put in your tax refund credit towards your tax refund amount towards your credit card bill. This is obviously very different for everybody, so you have to really analyze where you are. By making specific, measurable, and action-oriented goals, you'll be able to see if your goals are realistic, and if not, you can adjust it by extending the time frame. Speaking of time, so this means that everything has got to be time-bound. Give yourself an expiration date so you can have a target in mind. As an example, you're now in April, you can decide to clear off a debt in December. Work out how much money you need to put aside every month to clear that debt. And that is how to be smart about your money. Once you reach that deadline, you're encouraged to make the next goal. And the next goal could be, let's start saving from next year, January. And that's how you make progress in your financial lives. Now, as you know, part of this podcast is to share tips and strategies that I feel can help and has been part of my journey. Now, one of the good books that I've read recently is called About Budgeting. If you want to go further, feel free to get it on Kindle, on Amazon. I'll attach a link down here. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And it's one of the blueprints in achieving financial freedom. Now, Robert explains the way people pay their debts can be broken down into two types, and that the first one is paying yourself as soon as you get paid. You pay your bills, rent, social plans, and then save what's left over if there's any money left over. And I used to do this. This was me years ago. I used to pay my debts first and then look at what's left over. Now, the second one it talks about is what the rich people's habits. Now, this for me was really quite key, and they do the complete opposite. They pay themselves first. Yes, they pay themselves first, and that's what you want to do. Hence his quote, which says, "The philosophy of the rich and the poor is this: the rich invest their money and spend what is left. The poor spend their money and invest what is left." So in summary, you can take, I did say about 20%, but if you're not in that situation, you can come back and take maybe 5 to 10% as a minimum. And out of this, put in your savings account, treat it like a bill. So say this is going to our savings account. This guarantees that that money will be saved and won't slip through your fingers through spending. When you get paid, when you're setting that budget, make sure you're doing this. Go out. People don't realize how much they're spending when they pay bills. We go out, buy new things, go on holiday, and by doing that, we're paying other people first. And that's what Robert is saying. We pay other people stuff and then save what's left. And sometimes there's nothing left. And that is the backward mentality. We need to change up. We need to now think. The key is to pay yourself first. When that salary comes in, when that income comes in, pay yourself first instead of making other people richer by buying their things before you pay yourself first. And this is quite key. For example, if you're somebody who likes to go and buy new shoes or new clothes every month, reverse that. Pay yourself first before you go to pay somebody else, because that's what you're doing really. You're paying somebody else. So reverse that and make sure that that's in your budget. Every month, pay yourself first. So that's another tip of really trying to understand how to be financial resilience, because that will, if maybe it's going into an emergency fund, that's a good way, or you're now into the point of saving. Now, another thing, make sure you're considering your insurance options. Very important. Having appropriate coverage on your health, on your property, if you've got one, on your car, safeguards you against unforeseen events. And this is quite crucial. And sometimes the good thing about the insurance in this country is you can pay it in installments. So that's in a way gives you that reassurance that if anything happens, could be a boiler breakdown as an example, you have an emergency or you have insurance there that can cover it. So you can find a way to really work through those little financial expenses that do present themselves and build on that. And it's a habit that's going to take a while to build on. Or some people do it very, very quickly. And it just takes readjusting and really challenge and refocusing and thinking, why should I pay someone else's first when I should be paying myself first? So think about it that way. Make sure you're utilizing your employee benefits. Very crucial. Know the benefits provided by your employer. This could be retirement plans, health benefits, or flexible spending accounts. Utilize them effectively. Evaluate convenience versus cost. Sometimes convenience services like subscription box, dining out, this can add up. Assess whether the convenience is worth the cost, especially during challenging times. And this is key. This is quite important. Everybody has got to do this. If you're in a place where you're thinking, I need to build my financial resilience, why do I feel like I don't have any money? The money comes in and goes out very quickly. And this is how to really start changing those habits. Now remember, building financial resilience is a gradual process. I'm not going to say it's going to happen in the next few months. This is really takes discipline, takes a lot of effort, and it takes you and a lot of planning. As I say, organization, your budget is a crucial place to start. And remember those small tips that I'm giving you. Go read some of the books I'll be attaching, like for example, as Robert Kiyosaki. Even small steps can lead to significant improvements in your financial well-being. Now, overall, financial resilience is about proactively building a strong financial foundation, being prepared for unexpected events, and having the ability to bounce back from financial setbacks while continuing to work towards long-term financial security and well-being. Now, there are certain tips that I normally go with for building a strong foundation. The first tip is make sure you have an emergency fund. Because, and I know many people think, well, I'm in a secure job. You just don't know what your employer is thinking. Have an emergency fund, whether it's £5 you're putting in every month. Make sure it's there to cover those expenses. Make sure you're putting something away. If you've got a smartphone, it can be a great tool for saving and making money. It goes without saying these days, the banking apps are some of the most popular among. But NatWest, as an example, has got a good banking app where you can do your budgeting, you can put aside for it's a helpful way, gives you a helping hand for budgeting, saving, and managing your cash. Other apps that are available, Tesco Pay as you go, wallet free, and you get 25% extra Clubcard points. Probably one of the most used apps on my phone in this household. We use it because it lets you store your credit card, debit card details, and quickly pay for shopping and automatically collect Clubcard points. And then after a few months, or you start, the points will work for you because you can understand you can go out there and use the vouchers or use the points that is on your Clubcard to reduce your shopping bill. Another one of my favorite apps is Jack's Flight Club. Now this one, if you like to go on holiday, it's a really good app that you can download for free. It alerts you when an airline drops on particular routes, for example, London to New York, as well as deliberate price cuts. It's quite important, and it also flags pricing mistakes, which is quite good, but you have to get there really, really quickly, or sometimes error fares, which can be mega cheap, so you have to get there really, really quick. Another one of my favorite apps is Boots app. I think this is quite useful, particularly because every 200 you get 200 bonus when you spend £2. I like to save this because at the end of the year I can buy Christmas presents from the Boots app. So this is another app that I'd really recommend if you're looking to cut down cost. Another way of cutting down cost is compare the cost of food and toiletries. Now you can compare, there's a My Supermarkets app is a really good one. Now you can compare the cost of items at most major supermarkets, health and beauty retailers and discount stores with My Supermarket app. If you've got an iPhone or Android, by all means download it. It looks at all the big supermarkets and the prices, including Aldi, Asda, Iceland, Lidl, Morrison's, Tesco, you name it, they're all there. And it tells you, and you can quickly find out which is selling the cheapest item you want, and you can go out there and obviously work on your budget by reducing that. And Unidays, again, it's you get discounts at shops and restaurants. So these are really just quick tips on how to save. And another one of my favorite, and this is particular because I do have a client who told me they can't afford to go to the gym. So I would say, for me, I'm very much an advocate for working out. I'm an advocate for making sure you get exercise within your daily dose of your continuous progress to empowerment. Nike Training Club app. Get fit without a gym membership. That training app is brilliant. For one, if you're looking for a way to work out without paying for a membership fee, this is a fitness app that could be the way forward. For one, it offers you a variety of workouts covering from yoga to cardio, and it can be done with no equipment at home or out and about, and every workout has videos. It's actually brilliant. You can download it on your iPhone and your Android. So that's another tip. Make sure you get in your workout, because getting your workout is how you'll be able to empower yourself to really think clearly and get the right budget. And really, without saying much, I've talked about the impact of physical exercise. Next tip, investing in your future. Make sure you're investing in your future. And I know this is going to be a gradual step, particularly if you still have debts now. So your goal at this stage should be, let's try and find a way, smart goals to clear the debt. I've already given you a tip of clearing the debt. Really think about how you're going to utilize the amount of money you have. Even if it's £5 that you're putting away to say this is for clearing that debt, try and put that away so you can clear that debt. Start small. And then when it comes to investing, you can now start thinking of investment ventures, which I'm happy to cover. Risk management, make sure you're looking at your risk management. And this is part of the financial resilience. Make sure you have your insurance that cover critical illness. Make sure you know how to go about this. And really, I think when it comes to financial resilience, it's about adapting to change. I know many people, particularly when you settle in that one job, make sure you're always adaptable. Think about how you can expand your skill set. I know many freelancers on sites like Fiverr, for example, who diversify their income streams by taking on various freelance projects, creating digital products to sell and investing on dividend-paying stocks. So that if one job, or if you're in a job and as an example, things are not working out, you start looking, how can you diversify your income? Think of the various skills and really try and up your game when it comes to adapting into new skills. Look at what the market is talking about. Assess. There's many businesses out here now who are looking for people who understand AI. That could be a new venture for you. Think about, because always be prepared, always know that yes, just because you're in this job, it doesn't mean, have a side hustle, have a project, because that project will pay off in the future. Because you just know, be adaptable to change. And I think for me, I would like to really start to emphasize by ensuring that you're closing the learning gap. The learning gap, and this is quite important because I feel the education system, as good as it's been, it has created a system that's tailored towards a good job, getting promoted, earning a salary, and then we're told to save part of that pay after the tax, which of the taxman has been, which means we haven't been told how to put it. We've been told, yes, put it into a saving accounts with interest rates. And sometimes, and I know many people, they keep telling, I don't want to save because it doesn't keep up with the inflation. And that's why the problem is, saving under this paradigm feels quite impossible. Now, most people think this is the way and there's no alternative because the education or the schooling system here does not teach us about financial literacy, mortgages, taxes, corporate structures, managing our finances, none of that. So it's up to us to educate ourselves on our finances. And that's where part of this podcast as well is quite helpful. And as well, reading books, watching YouTube videos. I've recommended a book here that I think would be quite useful. Listen to podcasts. I'll attach a number of podcasts here that I think talk about finance that I've found quite useful, because a lot on saving or building wealth really involves understanding what your money can do for you. And once you change that paradigm, you start understanding exactly which way to invest and which way to invest in. So it's quite important to really close that literacy gap when it comes to financial literacy. Now, I think I'd like to say financial literacy is very useful in many aspects, and financial resilience as well is a topic I'll continue to cover. And that really brings up to the end of another empowering episode. I hope you found today's discussion on financial resilience useful, insightful, and inspiring. Now, before I wrap up, I want to leave you with a reminder that no matter where you are on your financial journey, remember that resilience is within your reach. It's not just about weathering the storms, but about emerging stronger and more prepared for whatever life throws at you. So whether you're building your emergency fund, paying off your debt, or investing for the future, know that every step you take towards financial resilience is a step towards greater peace of mind and freedom. As we sign off today, I encourage you to reflect on what financial resilience means to you and how you can continue to cultivate in your own life. Now remember, you have the power to shape your financial future and create the life you envision. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay resilient, stay empowered, and keep striving for financial freedom that you deserve. Bye for now.